Happy New Year, everybody. Let's hope 2021 will be a better year than 2020. And I know it's been difficult for many of us with regards trying to deal with what's happened during 2020 from a work perspective, from a family perspective, and also, very sad to those who've lost loved ones and had to deal with this pandemic, which, we've never had to deal with before. And it's been very challenging. On behalf of myself, I'm so grateful for your support during this time with, clients and your kind wishes, and also the support that you've given AY Body Mechanics, joining in with the videos and the tutorials and exercise class, and also supporting us at the Harlow Holistic Therapy Centre. We can't wait to be able to start to welcome you back again. With Tier 4, at the moment we're currently not being allowed to reopen. We are going to be in contact again with the local health authority to see if we can be granted permission, but at the moment as it stands, unfortunately we're not able, but we will keep you updated. I will keep regular updates on the Facebook page. I do the exercise class on a Tuesday at 10 o'clock. So if you do want to join in via Zoom, it is stretch and tone, but it is a little bit different because we try to make it fun as well. So we're putting a little bit of dance routine, we do some floor work, and we also do some really kind of good stretch work and mobilisation. So all of the exercises are safe and you're more than welcome to join, and that's 10 o'clock on a Tuesday. I will be doing short self-help videos as and when they come up. I'm going to be using this time as well to do some studying and also look at some volunteering work which I've got in the pipeline. But when we are able to reopen and I am able to welcome you back, then please, I'll let you know and then we can get you booked in. In the meantime, if you are struggling with any physical pain, or even if you're dealing with some emotional issues and you require some either mindfulness or some NLP or some life coaching, I'm able to still offer appointments online. And some people have said, well, how can you treat shoulder pain or neck pain if it's online? What I can offer is if you have a partner that is living with you or in the home, then I can also show them how to do some release moves to help you deal with that problem. For example, low back, some massage moves or some, gentle distraction moves. We can talk you through that. Or else there is a lot of stuff that you can do, for example, just by looking at posture and re-evaluating, but also some body use that I can talk to you through using Zoom. So there are still those appointments available. If you are interested, you can inbox me. And if you know anyone else who's struggling, then please share my information to them as well. The other thing that with the mind side of it and the therapies, that I have colleagues as well who specialise in different practices who will be able to help via Zoom. I'm offering life coaching, and a lot of people go, well, what is life coaching? Life coaching enables you to look at where you are. Now, there's a lot of people who are in situations where they might have to look for a new job, decide where they want to go. And sometimes we're not clear of the goals. We know that, okay, we might need to get a job, but where do we need to, how can we set those goals and put the wheels of motion into practice? So that's where life coaching comes in. Not only for looking at where you are, where you want short term, but where you are long term. So if we look forward, for example, you may need to get an income in now, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be in that job for the rest of your life. It could just be a stepping stone to enable you to get to maybe a career that you wanted to do or you didn't realise. So we can look at all that for you. Dealing with how to deal with stress, how to deal with the tension not only through the body, but as we say, with the mind, the limbic system of the mind, which also controls the flight and fight response. That can also produce physical manifestations which affect us as I say, from the physical point of view, tension in the body, aches and pains, but also can sometimes cloud our judgment as to where we are going in the future. So we set those, and we call it goal setting, but there is a whole set of, we call it future pacing. It's when we look at future pacing, and we can look at where you are within your life and what you wish to achieve. There are many different techniques that can help us deal with also post-COVID trauma, and there's been a lot of talk about what happens to you once you've had COVID, with the fatigue, with the general lethargy in the body, and also some aches and pains. So there is a lot that we can offer to help you deal with those symptoms and help you to cope and have a much better quality of life. Whether that be some nutritional advice as well from the holistic nutrition side. So with AY Body Mechanics, what we do is we offer, as I say, the holistic package, but also at the centre we have therapists who deal with the kinesiology, the reflexology, the pain management side of it, as well as a lot of other therapies that can be useful, especially to help you deal with those times when you're struggling. And we all suffer times when we feel like we should be able to cope, we should be able to focus, we should be able to achieve those things and not want to ask for help. And actually it shows real strong resilience to ask for help. I know that I've do that. I have a life coach that I see regularly to help keep me motivated, to help me deal with any things that I want to achieve. So a lot of things when we are looking, for example, with the life coaching and the NLP, we don't just focus on those negatives. There's a lot of positives that we don't see within ourselves, what we already have achieved, what we have to offer. But going back to, post-COVID symptoms, and also dealing with everything that happens, the mind, the body, that all works together as one, which is why I chose the holistic therapy as opposed to going down more of a chartered route, for example, like a physiotherapy or osteopath, because body mechanics enabled me to put in the whole package of holistic therapy, which is why I went down that route to choose it. So if you feel that any of the advice that I've said will benefit you, then just please, drop me a line. But going back on a more lighter note, so one of the things that I will do is I tend to do it, we always say like New Year's resolutions. I don't tend to do that because I find as soon as I say I'm going to start a New Year's resolution, I end up not achieving it. So I change it to, what would I like to do? Because if we put some, and we call it positives and negativities, but all it is that when you talk to yourself and you look at the little chip having a bark there, the positives, and the doorbell going. See, you can tell this is, well, it's not live, but it's recorded. But when we look at what we can achieve by focusing on those positives, and that could be something about what you've already done. So it could be a little thing like, what have I been able to achieve so far? And then use that to focus on what I'd like to. So next year, I have a few challenges that I've set for myself. One of them is to continue with my advanced AMP work, which I do for a continuous development practice. But I'm also going to look at specialising in some different techniques as well. So I'm continually studying for that. So that I think it should take me a couple of years, but it's all added to what I can offer you. So I'm looking at doing some voluntary work. So if we're not able to go back into the new year, there are a couple of things that I'm looking into to keep the brain ticking, but also to put back. So yeah, have a little think about when we look at things that haven't gone right, kind of focus on, as we call it, there's a number of different people, appreciation or gratitude for those things, but it can really help to actually put things into perspective. So I do wish you a really good 2021. We can get through this tier 4 with the vaccines coming on, whether or not whatever your view is, you know, there are positives that are coming out of going into 2021. Maybe it's given you a bit more time to reflect or make those changes. So sometimes we see change, we're change resistant, or we see that as, oh my gosh, it's a negative. Well, look at all the positives, how you've got through this, how you've pulled on that strength. But if you feel that, you know, it's made you kind of quite anxious and around those settings, you know, try to maybe think about ways that you can help yourself. And again, if you need any advice, then just let me know. But for me and my family, just wishing you a happy new year and look forward to seeing you next year. Okay, take care.